Welcome to ABC Real Time Talk Show. And this is Sinha MA Sayeed anchoring this talk. Well, today we will discuss mainly on the issues related to Israel and Hamas war, which we cannot escape at this moment. Then we'll choose over to the issues in Bangladesh. And to have discussion on this issue, we have four distinguished guests from four countries. And they are on the top, retired Captain Maru Raju. He's a journalist and political analyst. He's from Canada. Then Mr. Samsul Amin Munir. He is a PhD fellow, researcher, and former university teacher. He is from United Kingdom. Mr. Munir,
Assalamualaikum. Thank you, Sinabhai.
thank you. Then Dr. Shaukat Ali, a renowned economist and political analyst. He is known to everybody because he is a voice like anything. Welcome, Mr. Shaukat Ali.
Assalamu alaikum.
Then Professor Dr. Tariq Fazl. He is a political scientist and now he's teaching at the University of Russia. He's from Bangladesh.
Assalamu
Welcome.
alaikum. I hope all of you are in nice situation.
Well, now let us get involved with the discussion, serious discussion. First of all, my asking to retired Captain Maru Raju. You are a journalist and a political analyst. You know very well that tremendous atrocities is going on in Gaza. At the same time, by the Israel and U.S. government is very much cruel to the whole issues. What is your understanding about the whole thing, Mr. Raju?
Thank you very much, dear Sinabhai. And here a few very distinguished speaker, very learned and educated, more than me at least. So I'm gonna wait to hear from them and learn from them. You have started with a very burning issue of the world, Palestine and Israel conflict. Listen, this conflict today, it didn't start today. We all know. I think most of the people knows that it started from since 1948 when they created the state of Israel after Second World War. But what we don't know that this country was created on a sovereign land which was called Palestine. Why the Western world has taken all these people from all the Europe and everywhere, where in Germany Hitler killed 6 million Jewish people and wanted to extinct them. Why they took everybody from there and they have to put it in Middle East? Why? They could create a buffer land, a new country in Europe, in Alps and in Siberia and everywhere. Why they didn't do that? I have a little synopsis on that. They did it on purpose because ancient land has been claimed by three great religions in the world: Muslims, Christianity, and Jewish. They all take Jerusalem as their holy land. And all these three were brought out from there. That's why they put it in there. So they create a conflict, never-ending conflict for last 75, 70, 80 years. Today, the place we are today is like one of the most, what should I say, injustice going on in front of the whole world, right before all the democratic nations, right before 17, 18 Gulf nations, Middle Eastern nations, because most of them are Muslim and they're oil rich. And they made a nation, they made a country on somebody else's land in 1948. I think they wanted to get rid of these people. They don't want them to be in Europe. These people are very, very smart. We see that just in the middle of Middle East, surrounded by all neighboring countries which are hostile. Hostile means they don't like them. Enemy. Still they survive. I think Israel is one of the most democratic country in the world. People will not like this view because they're against Israel. That democracy is the power of Israel to survive. Of course, United States help and European help, because Israel is the only country which can change the government overnight. Their people are so democratically concerned, and their government are not permanent like our governments, our world country government and different government. They want to stay in power. You're gonna see the tussle of power so much democratic. The process they follow, the government can fall overnight. That's the people's right. Though I don't like Israel, though some of you will not like Israel because of their actions, but they follow the democracy more than any other country surrounding them. That is their power. I think there are people who live in Israel and the citizen, they are more strong mentally and democratically than any other country around them, which is ruled by undemocratic ruler, kings, and sheikhs. You have to remember this very important point. If they want to make Palestine a state, which is supposed to be a two-state solution, because they had been never-ending problem. So if they make this state, that Palestinian state should follow democratic process and should be democratically elected government, and people's government should rule that land in future. That will give them a lot more power than military power, because the people's voice, which we relate to Bangladesh now, people's voice, people's right, people's opinion are not reflected in the government. So whoever has power want to remain in power, want to be more strong, and want to continue in power, no matter how much things they want to do, right and left, and manipulate everything, So this is very important. So I think now most of the world has, get united. I think 154 countries have voted United Nations for Palestinian right and their civil right, and give them. I think it's time. All of us should raise our voice that Palestine should become an independent country, and that is the only solution. You can stay peacefully together, side by side, because they are side by side, like Bangladesh and India, Canada and US. You cannot ignore each other. You cannot have a country next to you occupied, and you do whatever you want, and you have a different law, different policy for two different people. That is not justified. My opinion is any country, any irrespective of what religion they follow, what background they have, should support the right of Palestinians to have their own country and to rule by themselves. Israel, at this point, 2023, we are speaking in November, they should not try like they did last 70 years. They should also come down and give them the self-rule, so they're not fighting each other anymore. It will be difficult, but I think world leaders, world conscious, everybody will support this, should support this. United States already yesterday, day before yesterday, Joe Biden said in open statement to Israel to stop the military operation on Gaza and West Bank. So they are starting to speak already. So all of us should raise our voice and support Palestinians, or in that case, any other people, any other region in the world, people are suppressed by somebody else, and they're not let independence or self-rule. This is a birthright for anybody to self-rule. My country should be ruled by us. This is a birthright. So we should all support that, no matter what religion and what background they are. We should always support the people who are fighting for independence, because we are a nation.
Thank you very much,
Two
Mr.
nations in the
Captain
world.
Maru.
One second.
You will have
we are
1 minute only.
one nation in the world, one of the few nations in the world, Bangladesh, which has gained the independence with a bloody, brutal war, and 3 million people have lost their lives, and a lot of our mothers and sisters have lost their sanctity. So we should not support anybody who is not supporting that. We should support all the independence movement in the world for people's right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Samsul Alam Munir, you listen to what Captain Maru Said. And you know very well that US policy made the Arab worlds divided and unfriendly to each other, one another. And that is the main foreign policy to the Middle East. And once upon a time, Mr. Philip Habib, he played the role very tremendously. And now it is almost at the peak. And do you think that America will play right role at this very moment for the cause
Thank
of people in Palestine, Gaza, and the solution there? Mr. Monir.
thank you, Dr. Sinha Bhai. Thanks for inviting me to this esteemed, the talk show. I think it's the only English talk show so far I know, hosted by you. And I thank my learned, the co-panelist as well. And thanks to those who are watching now. As you asked me the question about the US role, in my opinion, US is not the problem solver. US itself is a part of problem. So let me start with a small video to show you what Joe Biden said just when he visited Israel.
5,000 times in my career, the Iron Clad commitment the United States has to Israel based on our principles, our ideas, our values. They're the same values. And I've often said, Mr. President, if there were not in Israel, we'd have to invent one.
It is the best $3 billion investment we make. Were there not an Israel, the United States of America would have to invent an Israel to protect her interest in the region. The United States would have to go out and invent an Israel.
We're also going to discuss.
So, as I said, United itself is the some people say that Israel is the spoiled son of the United States, and this is 100% true. And U.S. President Joe Biden said when he visited Tel Aviv last time, if there were not an Israel, we would have to invent one. So when you want to invent something, this is you're copyrighted, your patent. You need to look after it. You are the owner. So in the last 75 years, there are nearly 7 million Palestinian refugees around the world. Most of them living either in Lebanon or in Jordan. And let me give you some statistics for the last the 50 years of settlements. More than 600,000 Jewish Israeli settlers living on occupied Palestinian land, and more than 100,000 hectares of land appropriated by the Israel for Palestinians since 1967, and 50,000 homes and structures demolished by Israel in Palestine over the 50 years, and 4.9 million Palestinians facing daily restrictions on their movement. And about the killings, in the last couple of decades, they killed more than 10,000 people. And in last month, they killed around 11,000 Palestinians, and among them, 4,000 children. I am father of 2 young children. When I see that, I cannot sleep well. I've got some, I must admit that I've got some sleeping problem. But when I've been observing the killings of civilians in Palestine, in Gaza, I cannot sleep. And when I see the US and European Union's double standards, I can't tolerate this. I am living in the UK. Even the UK government is, not giving chance people to protest. They are telling that, okay, protesting on the street and raising the Palestinian flag, march of hate. Can you imagine? People are being killed in their thousands, and some general people, common people, are protesting. And the UK government, the ally of US, the father of the spoiled son, father of Israel, and the UK is the ally, big ally of the US, and they are telling us don't protest on our road because you are scaring the Jewish people. It's not the Jewish people about. We are protesting for the rights of the civilians, for the rights of innocent people. Let me give you some examples of the US and EU's double standard. US in the last 75 years, They gave $120 billion military aid to the Israel, and they give almost 3.3 billion, the dollar per year to the Israel. And when Israel was created in 1948, then U.S. President Harry Truman was the first world leader who recognized the Israel. And after Second World War, there was a big game between the US and the Soviet Union, because US had to occupy the Middle East, because of what? Because of the minerals, because of the very important, the routes, Suez Canal. So they did it. And then, after, the 1976, the war between Israel and Egypt, Syria, and Jordan, US just committed the full support. Whatever Israel needed, they gave everything. And since then, Israel was getting like blank check from US to do anything. And I need to give you a remind about this, that the killings of civilians in Palestine by Israelis is underestimating any civilian killings around the world. If you talk about the Ukraine war, the genocide Israel is committing in Palestine is very, very bad. If you compare with the Ukraine, is nothing. Is nothing. The Israeli lobby, like the say American Israel Public Affairs Committee, AIPAC, they are the biggest lobby in the US to convince and then to get the money and to convince them to lobby for Israel, to get money, arms, everything. So their lobby very powerful. So we're talking about the colonizers, Israel, and on the other hand, colonized the Palestinians. And we're talking about when we talk about the equal rights, about the war, I don't, the term this, the Israel-Hamas war, I term it as Israeli aggression on Palestinians. Because war should be, when you say war could be between Ukraine and Russia, because there are two states. There are two powerful states, or two, at least, not 100% same, at least 80 and 100, something like that. But when you talk about the Hamas, it's tiny militant group, and they're occupied for the last 50 years by Israel. So it is not war. It's all about aggression and colonization, everything happening there. So if I tell you about give you some examples of the US and EU's double standard, when the Israel attacked hospitals in Gaza, and then at the time US they didn't condemn it. They said it was done by either Hamas or Islamic Jihad. On the other hand, when Russia attacked hospital in Ukraine, then US was crying, oh, it was genocide. Russia was committing genocide. So this is the double standard. They don't, they don't think the Palestinian people are human beings. Even the Oskol, even the Israeli defense minister was telling that is animal, human animal. Can you imagine that? These people's land have been, stolen from them in 1948, and you are killing them. You are occupying them, and you restricted their, the movement, and you put, you send you settlers, and they occupied their lands. They're killing them, torturing them, and you are telling them they're the human animals. Because of what? Because you have, the big brother. You have got the Godfather, America. So this cannot happen. This is damaging the world. And on the other hand, the Arab lands, Arabian countries, they're sleeping. They have got their slaves. They are bringing people around the countries to help their, to do their household chores. So they are happy. They don't care about this. One of my friends, Lebanese friends, my Facebook friend, she's also a university teacher. She was telling this couple of days ago, this one Facebook post. She told us to give a lesson to Saudi Arabia. We must stop going there for Hajj and Umrah. Because as a tourist, religious tourists, they're making money from us. They're enjoying their life. And if we stop doing this and sending money to them, they will understand the importance of the Muslim. So I think we need to think about that. We need to think about this twice. So American hypocrisy, American, the double standard on Ukraine and Gaza is very clear. that when U.S. State Department's, the State Secretary Anthony Blinken visited Israel, and interestingly, he visited Israel the last 4 times in the last 1 month. And in his first visit, he said to Israel, "I came here as a Jew." So he lost his credibility. For example, if I'm a
Well, Mr. Samsilala Moni, we'll come to again. Thank you very much.
thank you very much.
Mr. Dr. Tarek Fazal, you are a political scientist. So, well, your canvas is bigger than anybody else because you see the things. What is politics? What is political science? And the atrocities and inhuman activities going on in Gaza by the Israeli forces, supported and geared by the US, America, and the Western force. And do you believe the Western world can uphold the principle of democracy and human rights in the coming days? Yes, Mr. Tarek Fazal. Mr. Tarek Fazal, do you hear me? I think he's out of. Do you hear me? Well, we'll come to later. Dr. Shaukat Ali, you are living in America, and everybody knows that you are very well connected persons.
I need just 1 minute before I say anything, brother, please, because I have to open the door for my office. Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Tarek Fazal, what happens to you? Mr. Tarek Fazal, we are not listening to you.
Okay, sorry. There was a disturbance of network. It was disconnected for a few seconds.
You listen to my question to you?
Please repeat it, please. Repeat the question, please.
My asking to you is that American Western blocs, they are doing everything in favor of Israel, but not listening to what is humanity, what is human rights. Crying of the children, crying of the human rights, everything has got no importance to them. And this degradation of values from the very head of the Western democracy is really painstaking. And do you think in America in the coming days, in the Western Europe coming days, the Western power can uphold the principles and norms and values of democracy all over the world? Well, Mr. Tarek, you are a political scientist, please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Dr. Sinha bhai, and all other my co-speakers, presenters here. I am happy to be here in this show. Certainly, this is a very shameful reality for this civilized world, this present world, that we are simply witnessing how seriously, how badly a double standard can be maintained. And this double standard is being maintained by the so-called civilized world, democratic world, who talk about the human dignity, who talk about the human personal honor, who talk about the democratic rights and human morality, but they are not in any way, they are not upholding the principles of democracy, principles of civilization. And I'm not sure that in the future days, how people will evaluate this Western world when they will come to others, will go to others to teach others the humanity, the democratic rights, the human dignity, and other things. As Professor Monir has mentioned, we have witnessed the statement of Israeli defense minister that the Gaza people are the human animal, so they can kill this human animal uh, without any hesitation. When they do not uh, honor the humanity, when they do not honor the democratic rights, when they do not honor the right of self-determination of Gaza people and Philistine people. In fact, the very word is Philistine. English people made it Palestine. Okay. So this Philistine people has the right to have their self-determination, right of self-determination, and they are trying to uphold their self-determination. But these Israeli people, along with their mentors, along with their the establishing uh, uh, powers, the Western people, the USA and the UK, they are terming the right of self-determination of this Philistine people as the terrorist activities. Certainly, this is very much shameful, and we who are witnessing, we must condemn it all the way, and we should try to uh, protect the rights of this Philistine people, and it is certainly not very easy to protect, but we must condemn. We must uphold our words against these US people, US rulers, UK rulers, the Western rulers, that they are just undermining the democratic rights, human rights, and fundamental rights of all the people, and they are simply losing their moral stance there to talk about the humanity, human dignity, democratic rights of the people, the civilized people. So we are just witnessing these Western people are. We must not say simply Western people. We must say the Western rulers who are supporting these Israeli people, these Zionist people, not is not the we must not say that the Jewish people. Jewish people are in some time, in some occasions, in some instances very good, very good. They are also protesting the American rule against the American and UK rule. So we must condemn this Zionist activities, Zionist performance, and we must stand against this American and Western people rulers' rule. Uh, and I'm sure that the days coming forward will condemn all these things very seriously, and the history will go against these so-called developed or democratic people. They are democratic rulers. These rulers are not anyway democratic, not anyway humanitarian. By the way, I must mention another case where these American people are displaying their double standard in the case of Pakistan. We know that there is a very popular
Well,
leader.
Professor Tarek will come to you because we are very much concerned with Israel and Hamas. We'll come
Yes.
to you very soon. Now
Okay.
I will turn to Mr.
Okay. Thank you.
Professor Shaukat Ali. Mr. Shaukat Ali, you are living in America. And we believe America is still the torchbearer of democracy and human rights.
Ji,
We
Assalamu
believe,
alaikum, Said Bhai. Many
we,
thanks. But you did not say any good word about me. You said everything about the captain, about Samsul Alam, about
I'm coming.
Tarek
Let me
Fazl.
let me let
But
let me
you did
finish
not
it.
say
I have
anything
not
about the American
I have
side.
not I have not finished it.
Okay,
You are
thank
living
you.
in
Go ahead, please.
America. You are living in America, the torchbearer of democracy and human rights. But your overall exposure speak otherwise. You are Professor Shaukat Ali, who is polite, gentle, knowledgeable, and he speaks for mankind. And your exposure is something different from the American culture. At this very moment, the very Constitution of the America, which was made probably in 1789, from 74 to 89, and the very principles of democracy are now are very much under the feet of the leadership, present leadership of America. Even Donald Trump, a few days ago, he supported openly to Israel and being a part of mankind. And especially, you know very well that America means religiously they belong to Isa Islam Bible. And these very Israel people wanted to kill Isa Islam. But Surah Nisa in Holy Quran says Allah lifted him above. What a wonderful thing it is. They wanted to kill Isa Islam, the prophet of the present American world. But they are very close to each other. What the tragedy it is. Professor Shaukat Ali, we speak as a torchbearer of humanity. Please.
Assalamu alaikum. Said Bhai, after this discussion, I definitely will get a Nobel Prize in Peace Prize. I hope so. I know you are very well versed in Islamic, our main foundation book, the Holy Quran. I am not. But I recently found Professor Ervagans, who is the political mentor of the current president of Turkey, Erdogan. He said, quote from the Holy Quran, Surah Al-Fil, that Muslim world is looking for ababil with the stone on its mouth. But the ababil will come, not the throwing the stone on non-Muslim. If the bird come now, they will throw the stone on Muslims. Why we should blame Israel? Israel is doing what Israel for supposed to do. That is the reason. I think Professor Samsul Alam get a speech that was in the $3 billion speech that was in 1985. Our elder president, senior citizen, for whom I am myself was one of the organizers as a Democratic Party member. Definitely, he said that word also, that to be a Zionist, you don't need to a Jew. It's a shame on him. A president giving $16 billion to have a perfect genocide on 2.5 million Muslims. But be careful when to have how much the 150 miles square miles this area to or kilo whatever to killing to have a genocide on that part of the geographical area is not limited. It is the killing, the genocide, or finishing all the Muslim world. It's according to Hadith. So this guy is doing whatever he's supposed to do. $16 billion never happened in the history of mankind to have a perfect genocide. All the American president in the past or any other government, well, you give a $4 billion for the Gaza people and give them 16 billion here and they are always balanced. It's our tax money. But this senior president is a senile. And get what? His election is upcoming. So he's thinking that he will get a free ride and get elected by the 5% Jewish people in the United States. But look at the recent poll last week. He's the lowest of the lowest in poll number in the history of United States presidential candidate for the upcoming election. It's not going the way he's planning. Of course, we denounce. Of course, we pray for the Gazan people, for the martyr and the Shaheed. Senabai, listen. Poet Iqbal said one thing. Islam jinda hota hai har Karbala ki baad. I say a little bit different way. It's not only Islam, it's the fighting spirit come after the destruction. Look at this. It's a tragic that they killed 1500 Israeli children and the common people. Of course, there are army generals in the cantonment within very short period of time. Can you imagine? I'm putting a challenge. The country said we are the third power in terms of military might in the world. Look at this with the hand glider from the river, from the walk, from the tunnel. They go inside in Israel and did some damage. Though it is a tragic, never happened in the Middle Eastern history. I think, as an economist, though it is a part of politics, but I think it's a very positive thing. Why you get dispirited? Why? This is a positive sign, never happened. Remember 1973, crossing the Suez. I have seen the document during President Anwar Sadat. Break down the Barley line. The United States and Israel said there is no power in the earth to damage any part of the Barley line. But it happened. 1973 war by Anwar Sadat, General Fauzi, break down all of them. The Barley line was completely completed. Listen, the history of mankind is not for only 73 here, history of Israel is forever. As a Muslim, I believe it. As an economist, I'm very spirited. There's nothing wrong. When it happened, they have no superpower helping them. Till today, I think Professor Samsul Alam said it. Look at the Ukraine. Almost $250 billion, our tax money. This Senate give it to them. And there is no any can. And look, there is no superpower of the anybody helping. All of them sided with Israel because they created it. I'm very sorry to say, Captain Raju said one thing, which I always vehemently, go against it. Never said that this is the only democratic country. The moment we are talking, his house, their presidential house, is growled by the Jewish people demanding why these 1,400 people killed and 240 people is snatched from Israel. What the hell you did? And I am thinking, as soon as he get out from the power, he must be killed by the Jewish people. And there are hundreds of people, 3/4 of Jewish people, Israeli people, go against the current government of Israel. Look at the positive thing happening in the United States. Sinaba, you said it. For the first time, I'm here in this country long time. For the first time, the Grand Central is captured by the Jewish people to free Palestine, to help the Muslim people. Never happened in this country. They occupied for the first time hundreds of people, thousands of people, the Capitol Hill. The whole world knows that. All the Jewish rabbis, not all of them, they're all against the Israel. So the Jewish people, when goes against the Israel, they're fine. Well, they're arrested, that is true. They put in the jail also. But when we said we have a problem in the university, we have a problem in the future job and all those things. This is a long history, brother. How we can do? The only thing I can say, because our distinguished panel, and of course your shows, those who are watching, they are very esteemed people. Respect them. Read the book. It is online. It is written by Paul Finlay. It is the name of the book called They Dare to Speak Out. Paul Finlay was a congressman. When he was defeated by the American Political Action Committee, who is a Jewish people, they wrote the book all written by the renowned people, scholar, 45 years ago, brother. And they predicted what will happen after the 45 years in the United States. Look at this. Listen, in Bangla, we say, kukur le narai les. Leze kukur narai na. Well, it is happening right now in front of us. All the Congress on both parties are nurtured, financed, trained, traveled, everything controlled by them. All the universities, brother, I've been here a long time. All the university presidents, all the deans, all the state department, all the military headquarters, strategic decision maker, European command, central command, 90% of them, these people. If you are not, sometimes you say, oh, what happened? This guy is a black people, this guy is a commander. Well, read the history. Read the history. It's called, in American Malcolm X said, it is called slave. House nigger, slave mentality. This is the way it is going. There is a very, very scary thing going on next 30, 40 years in the United States. What will happen, we don't know. 120,000 people, students, small students, school children, they don't have a house in New York City. They sleep in the street or shelter somewhere. They cannot afford the house. And look at this stupid people doing. Almost $500 billion giving it to Ukraine and $16 billion giving it to the Israel to have a perfect genocide. This nation is completely lost. No matter left, right. I'm very shocked to say, I'm very sorry to say, a only remaining superpower is directionless. Look at any war they goes after the Vietnam War. They completely humiliated in Middle East. Look at the Taliban fighter without any sandals, a pajama, a dirty clothes. They captured almost $5 billion, all the arms and everything. But they never learned the lesson. This is the thing is debating now. What will be the future in this country? Look at the university student. They demanded before the election of President Biden, the loan will be forgiven. Brother, he cannot forgive him $5 billion. And he's giving $15 billion to Israel. Day is coming. Look at this, all these people. Young people say, we are abandoning the Democratic Party. We don't care who will come next election. And you will see it will happen. Maybe worse than this guy who will come to the president, but they are disgusted. That is the reason I said the cool head is not prevailing in the United States. I'm surprised how they came to give the lecture. Brother Raju,
Professor Shaukat, you have 1 minute.
One second. In the Middle East, it was Dr. Morsi was the president. Since Baba Adam alayhi salam, he is the first elected president. Dr. Morsi got PhD in physics and he got elected. President Obama said, oh, this is the icon, this is the the mother of democracy. I'll go and make his speech. His past speech outside of the United States. But the mercy. What happened to the mercy? What happened to the Egypt? Who created it? President Obama cannot do because Israel take it over. It's the same thing in Egypt. Same thing in Saudi Arabia. They created this monster, the kingdom, the dictator, the authoritarian regime, so that they can say, oh, Israel is the only democratic. We know what the hell democratic country is Israel itself. All the people are against Israel. And this is the reason some people say one of the day. And you know how many people, how many thousand people every day?
Thank you very much, Dr. Shaukat. I will come to you.
But they very like to say in the talk show, in our university classes, oh, Israel is the only democracy. And all are stupid. Who created those stupid authoritarian dictator? So it look good. So the Israel look good. We should not say anything based on
Okay,
our
thank you.
just current,
Thank you
politics.
very
I'm
much,
very
Dr.
sorry. I
Shogor.
think sometimes I'm very
I
sorry.
will come to you again, please. Thank you. Thank you very much for your fiery talks and speeches, which definitely a kind of overhauling and motivation for the whole Islamic world. And that's why you are Professor Shogor, not a mere indeed.
Thank you.
Well, now we'll turn to Bangladesh. You know very well, Bangladesh is passing a very, very critical stage of its political life and centering election to the 12th parliament. Many things are going on, especially the Western powers headed by America. Here, the Peter Haas, the only representative talking to everybody. This door to here to there, here to there. He's talking to everybody, right to left, left to right to middle. And he is, to some extent, is the only person in Bangladesh who is known to all. And probably in the history of diplomacy, he will be recorded as a person who played everything. What is Vienna Convention, what is not? Because that is up to the people to think. Thing is that Peter Hush at this very moment is not criticized by the people because to some extent America playing role in such a manner that it messes with the hopes and aspirations of people to some extent. But what the real intent and desire of America, nobody knows. Only the policymakers can gauge, and the persons like Dr. Shoko, Captain Maru, and Professor Tarek, and Mr. Samsul Amin, you can go into the deep of the whole thing and taking all this thing into our stock. My asking to Captain Maru Raju, what is your understanding about the whole political landscape of Bangladesh?
Thank you, Sinha bhai. I have to beg a little few minutes to answer a few things because my brother Shaukat Ali has said something, but because I started the discussion, it's very easy to give a very strong Jalamui Buktita second, third, fourth. Because I had to study it and I was not prepared for that. I was thinking about Bangladesh only. The reason I say the democracy process is to change the government. I say the people's inside. I didn't talk about the Israel policy or everything. I cannot. That's what I was meant. Because now I'm going to tell this is the only country in United States supporting US and you have said the right thing, $16 billion. $500 billion to Ukraine. But did United States have to send their army to Israel to save them from all the Arab countries? Why not? Because Israelis or Jewish, they're smart. You have to accept that. You don't like them, I don't like them, but they're smart, very smart. They are all army trained. They're men, women, everybody is equally trained, and they're very, very smart. That's why
I'm very sorry to say, Maru, brother Maru, I respect you. Please don't say that. I am smarter. You are smarter.
I'm not talking
Listen,
about smart.
when
No.
white people go to the University of Chicago,
I'm not talking about that smart. Militarily, I mean military.
I was there to see him. There was no selfie. I was there to see him.
Listen.
Well,
I am Dr.
Captain Maru, I request you please pay attention to Bangladesh issue because our time is measured.
I am smarter
Come to the
than
point of
anybody
Bangladesh
else.
issue, please.
Listen, I understand. You have to
Sorry
let
for
people
the
talk.
interruption.
You see, you don't let. No use
Please,
of bringing
please.
a big professor. Everybody
You
else don't know
concentrate
anything.
on Bangladesh
I'm
issue,
not
please.
talking about smart. They have something, some
Yes.
element of smartness. Where
Yeah.
in 2 wars we saw in 6 days, such a big army of Egypt and Jordan all over Arab world they lost. Why they lost? Did we sit down? Did they check why? You're only blaming United States. Why not? We are blaming ourselves. Why not the Arab countries around there? You said they are all puppets. Why not the Arab country people, the general people? They uprise and they make democratic process and they all support Palestine. Why not? I always follow a process which I blame myself first. Self-criticism is first. It's easy to blame others. It's easy to blame United States.
Mr. Maru,
Because
Mr. Maru will not we will not kill time by getting involved
No,
in
I
the
have to
Arab
finish this
Israel
because no, it's a
issues.
bad.
We have
It's
many
a
problems in
non-negotiable
Bangladesh.
agreement
Please,
that I'm
let
supporting
us
Israel.
think of
No.
ourselves first of all, not issue. Please concentrate to
Okay,
Bangladesh,
because
please.
it's very easy to tell blame others. I think we have to, its time has come. All the Muslim world around Israel or not around Israel have to get united and stop this. We are not weak. We are 1 billion Muslims. And most of the Muslim countries, a lot of Muslim countries are very rich, minerally and everything. So
Agree.
Well,
Turkey and Pakistan, they are very strong militarily. And Iran is very strong militarily. They have nuclear power. So Iran is the only country Israel care for now. And two groups, Hamas and Hezbollah. So there are three people now against Israel. And Israel has is United States and all Western world. Let us support them. It's easy to talk, like I said, Jalamui, but you have to find out the problem. And please let people know the problem so they can get united. Now come to Bangladesh. You
yeah.
all know what's going on in Bangladesh now. This regime is gonna stay. They like to stay. They love power. They will stay. They want to stay. They wish to stay. So how they gonna stay? They will try to manipulate another election, like 18 and 14, and they will like to stay. But is the situation same like 14 and 18 now? I don't think so. The Western world, United Nations, everybody has spoken. They want a free and fair election. They want people's representation. They don't want suppression. They don't want a violation of human rights. Everything is spoken. So whatever Mr. Peter Haas is telling, this is not his own view. He's talking in favor of his government, in favor of European Union. So when 50 countries went there, all the ambassadors they called, and government said they're concerned. They were explaining what they did, had to do. Our 28th February, 28th November's BNP's demonstration. None of them spoke anything. Why? There are two reasons. Could be two reasons. One is they didn't believe what government said. Second, they want to have a united front. So let one person speak or do, and we will all keep quiet and check. So I think situation in Bangladesh, as Sinha MA said, is very complex now. Anything could happen. Anything could happen. But it will not be easy for this government, Sinha government, to make another election, 2014 and 18 style. It will not be easy. Let's tell you aside. If they even declare there is a constitutional bar till 29 January, the election has to be held by 29 January 2024. Otherwise, there will be a constitutional vacuum. So even they give the say situation, even they announce the schedule and they go with 25 January something. I tell all the people of Bangladesh who is urging for democracy, don't get disheartened. I'll remind you 2006, there was an election announced 22nd January. Did that election ever happen? No. The election happened after 2 years in 2008, December. So don't lose heart. Don't give up. A lot of things will change from now till next week or week after. Sinha will agree with me because things are going on. A lot of things are going on back the stage, under the table, another country. So we should not decide right away this happened. But I have to urge to the present government people, including the Prime Minister, please don't antagonize, don't provoke people. You are provoking people by scaring them, by using slang, bad words to the opposition, by insulting the opposition leaders. That will not create a peaceful situation for dialogue. There is nothing can be solved in a dialogue, Sinha Bhai. There is nothing. You know, a lot of countries around us in Southeast Asia, in Indian subcontinent, their independence was given in a table. You know, British people on the left, they made the countries like sketching on the paper, on the table. This is your country, this is your country, this is your country, and they left. So that happened, and that India became independent. Pakistan became independent in two parts in 1,200 miles away, which is totally unrealistic, but they did it. So why can we sit down and talk and decide and solve? Nothing can be unsolved with discussion. Nothing. There's nothing in the world which cannot be solved. So we should always go to dialogue. Peter has said, no, with no point, with no priority, should go dialogue, and that should happen. Before this election, the opposition leaders should be taken. All the people should sit down, all the parties, and they should find a peaceful solution. Otherwise, we are going to a turmoil situation. We are tussling with the United States, which we don't like in some parts. They do a lot of bad things. But this time around, they are talking in favor of, in a line in our people. They are also telling that we want a good election. How can we say no? Because we don't like them, what they did in Israel. I hate them. I don't like them. But now they're telling something but good for me. I may not like them, but they're telling in favor of me. I should not give them away, throw them away. We should also listen to them because they are our biggest donor. They take all our garments and they take our peacekeeping force for United Nations, which is a very important point for our foreign currency reserve, which has gone down to $16 billion now, which is very alarming. For United States, it's nothing because they give this money to Israel. And but for us, for Bangladesh, it's survival. It's our question of our survival. So please, I urge to you, give a good solution so we can sit down and make a good solution and have an election which is relatively peaceful and neutral. Let Awami League come again. If they get vote, they will be elected again, and everybody will be happy. Not 100% happy, but partially happy. So I think we should all talk about peaceful solution instead of going to extreme point. Point of no return will not give them any solution. Dialogue is the only thing we should do now, and so both parties has to come in a point so we can let Bangladesh away from turmoil. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Captain Maru Raju. You spoke very well, highlighting the key points here. At the same time, Mr. Maruf has already indicated whatever happens doesn't matter. Thing is that dialogue and negotiation must. Without dialogue and negotiation, no settlement can take place here in Bangladesh. At the same time, we also believe this, and same thing is being echoed by United Nations and American Western blocs. Mr. Samsul Alam Moni, you listen to what Mr. Maruf said about the recent trends and currents in Bangladesh. And do you believe without dialogue and negotiation, this installment can be settled or overcome? Mr. Moni.
Thank you, Sinha again. I agree with Maru 100%. There are two options, either dialogue or the street, the battle. So nobody wants the battle on the street. And what we have seen, even I personally, I was college student in 1996 when Awami League was, the demanding caretaker government, and they called 173 days, the Hortal strike in Bangladesh, and they achieved it. So they know very well how bad it was. If you ask any Awami League leader, brother, 173 days, the strikes in a country like developing country, to get the caretaker government, was it good financially or politically, environmentally? Because there are lots of pollution as well happened because of this, the tear gas and the bombs and the whatever it is. They will tell you on live TV. They will not tell you, yeah, it was good, but in person they'll tell you, yeah, that was not good decision or that was not good things. So why it happened? Because at that time BNP was adamant that what about the way they're running the country? That was absolutely fine, a fantastic way. But they understood later that it was not good. The Magura by-election, that triggered the everything. So that was not good. So dialogue is the only one way, but the main thing is the political leaders in Bangladesh, they lost respect, to respect each other long time ago. Over the 52 years, when I was like 10 years old, 15 years old, I was asking my seniors, the brothers or uncles, the country is now 20 years old, 25 years old. What's going on? Why country is not moving forward? They told me, oh, it's just 20 years old, 25 years old. Let's give it 50 years or 100 years. Then you'll see the drama will happen. Magic will happen. But now 52 years. I think we are going to backward. And backward is like, as a Dr. Shaukat Ali is an economist, the the curve is up or downward sloping curve is very, very downward. We're going that way. So let me give some example what's happening. That threat to beat, the Peter Haas, deeply unhelpful. State Department. You might say, oh, someone union, the chairman said, American leader said that he wants to beat, the Peter Haas. But the one of the journalists, he raised the issue in his State Department, the what's called their the with the journalist, with their spokesperson, and they told that threat to beat the Peter Haas is deeply unhelpful. They're very polite because they use the word unhelpful. If it was Bangladeshi leader or Bangladeshi, the home minister, and one of our, the ambassadors in the UK or USA was told by one like Democratic Party, the member or Republican member, or we want to kill or we want to hit, the Mr. X, Bangladeshi ambassador in the US. That's our home minister would say, oh, we'll be fighting with them, blah, 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 we'll kill them, something like that. But they're very tactful. They said deeply unhelpful. But America, I criticize them because of Israeli policy, but America knows, how to, implement their agenda, either in Bangladesh or in India or in regards to China or Israel. They know very well about this. They're very clever because they are the war machine, they know how to make money. And in terms of Bangladesh, it's all about, geopolitics. And geopolitics means geoeconomics or geostrategies, all the same. Politics, behind the politics is money, economy. Without economy, nothing works. The US wants to keep, the China out of this region with the help of India. That's the main thing, main game plan. And another example I want to give you to show you the Bangladesh, the recent, the by-election in Lakhimpur. Former BCL leader stamps 43 ballots in 57 seconds. I think this is the Guinness record in the whole world. 57 seconds, and he stamped 43 ballots in 57 seconds. And the candidate who won the election, he said he's civil leader. So how come Shibi should be in the jail, in the prison? How come they're coming to the the polling the center and stamping the 43 ballots in 57 seconds? But I saw on social media he's with the candidate and he's the BCL leader. And another news, because as I think someone said about the arrest of opposition parties leaders, the hundred thousands and lots of cases. Relatives search at prisons for persons missing since their arrest. Police are arresting people, opposition leaders and their workers, and they're going to the prison, central prison, to see their name of the on the list. Their name are not there. They're missing. So as a country, what is the human rights? You can arrest someone, okay, you have rights, you have power, you have police, you have everything, you can do that. But that person should be in front of the court within 24 hours. And after arresting them, they're missing. Their names are not on the list in front of the prison. This is alarming. And in regards to 12 parliamentary elections, Awami League and Alliance, its alliance says there is no possibility BNP joining polls. What they're doing, that they'll be trying to show that we are bringing all of our alliances, dozens of political parties coming to the election, and after the holding the election, and we have one person, Mr. Modi. Congratulations, Madam Sheikh Hasina. Best, the election will be validated. What happened in 2014, and in 2018 it didn't happen because there's so many things happen, and then it stopped. So as I said before, that there is geopolitics all about the keeping China out of this region, because China is a big giant. China doesn't do what the US doing the same way. China is all about money. They don't care about human rights. They don't care about the democracy. They know about money. If you look at some African countries, they are buying the country now because some countries in debt. At some point, China might say that, guys, you are not paying my money back. Now I need to buy your country. It can happen. They're very rude, they want money and money. So the US playing human rights, corruption, and oppression opposition cards in Bangladesh is all about to keep the China out from the scene. So they want to dominate this region with the help of India, and they did it. The sanction RAB in 2021, and then again visa policy came this year in May. Is all about the same. That to fulfill their agenda in this region, and we cannot deny the US's the importance in our economy because of the RMG, the largest the export we exports to USA, and then European Union. So whatever US says, European Union will say the same thing. So we cannot ignore them. They're nasty. They're bad. I know that. But for our economy, it's tiny country, developing country, and highly populated country. If they do something in terms of this, give any sanctions or reduce the, already I saw on the newspaper that 35% the decreased, the US, the import from us.
Mr. Monir, by asking to you, please, by asking to you, whether there will be dialogue, negotiation or not. Do you support it?
From my experience, what I've seen in my 45 years, my experience, and I always went to the street to see the street, the politics. When I was in college student in Dhaka in 1996, what I observed, the BNP, I went to see all the, the political parties, procession and meetings, Awami League, Jatiya Party, BNP, Jamaat, everywhere. And once, I heard from
thank you very much. The point is that you support it. That is the main question. Well, thank you very much.
I expect,
Professor,
but I don't see Awami League is ready, for dialogue.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Professor Dr. Tarek Fazol, you are a political scientist and you are in Bangladesh now. And this show, you are only person from Bangladesh, and you have a very good stock of the whole thing. It is alleged by the opposition political parties. The government is trying to break up the political parties like BNP. And we have seen it during the election, during the martial law government. They did it because they have no political party. They could have done it. Is it fair on the part of a political party like Awami League or BNP to play the role, to break a political party? Then what are the future of Bangladesh? To win the election, if you want to have, is it possible to break BNP to pieces? What the reality says, and why the government, it is alleged, why the government has chosen this line. As a political scientist, what is your focus, please?
Thank you, Sinha bhai, again. Yes, as a student of political science, I should have few words here. Okay, before going into the basic points of this hours, I should mention one point regarding one popular mistake what we have listened from Professor Shaukat Ali, because it is very much popular. Professor Shaukat Ali is very much senior teacher. One thing is what we know in the name of Dr. Muhammad Iqbal, Islam Zinda Hota Hai Har Karbala Ke Baad. This is in fact from Maulana Muhammad Ali Jawhar, not from Dr. Iqbal. So this is a very popular mistake in our society. It is Maulana Muhammad Ali Jawhar, not Dr. Iqbal. Islam Zinda Hota Hai Har Karbala Ke Baad. Sorry, I hope that you don't mind, Professor Shaukat Ali.
No, it's all right.
Okay, right.
It is very educative. I did not know that. I know it is from the Iqbal. Thank you.
Right. Okay, thank you. Then regarding this Bangladesh political reality, if you allow me, I can show you one cover of a book. Hope you can go through the words here. বাংলাদেশে তত্ত্বাবধায়ক সরকার ব্যবস্থা সূচনা বিকাশ এবং ভবিষ্যৎ. At the bottom, this is my official name, Tarek Mohammad Tawfiqur Rahman. It is published in the year 2009, just after the election of 2008. And yes, as a student of political science, I had the privilege to go with all the events regarding the caretaker government issues in Bangladesh from 1990 up to this time. Earlier, I was writing in newspapers, what we say popular writing, and in 1994, I wrote one write-up. I have a write-up in Daily Jonokantha on May 5 of 1994, urging or requesting the ruling party to consider the issue of the demand of caretaker government. They were demanding for it is called impartial and non-party caretaker government, impartial. But what I asked, what I argued that the demand for caretaker government was coming from all the opposition parties, Awami League, Jatiya Party, and Jamaat Islami, and they were in fact representing almost 70% of Bangladeshi people. BNP got 30% plus votes in the election of 1991. So these three major opposition parties having the support or consent of almost 70% of Bangladeshi people. So when they were demanding the demand, that very demand should be considered by the then ruling party BNP, and I was arguing that if you do not agree with the feasibility, with the usefulness, with the reasons of this caretaker government, okay, you go to the people, means you arrange one what we say in Bangla, Gonobot, referendum. You go for a referendum. It was said in on May 5, 1994. I was writing that one. And after 2 months later, in June, in our Jahangirnagar University, perhaps you can recall that on that time, the president of Bangladesh Political Science Association was Professor Ataur Rahman of Dhaka University, and Professor Dilara Chaudhary was on the time the chairman of Government and Politics department in Jahangirnagar University. On the time, the association and the department Jahangirnagar arranged one seminar on the time on June, and only from my part there was one article on the issue of Magura election. Magura election was just happened before that time, and I had one article on that Magura election issue. I argued that the ruling party did a very wrong thing to win the election of this Magura election, using all the state machineries and their party powers, party strengths. That was not a really good thing from the ruling party BNP. Okay, one thing I should say here that it was my position from the very beginning to remain as a non-party person. Yes, from the political perspective, nobody can be a neutral man, neutral person. On all the issues of politics and economics, one must have one side. So we'll say he has a side. He is not neutral. But one can be a non-party person. As I am still here after my 30 years of teaching at Russia University, I'm a non-party person, and it's a different question that whether I am enjoying this position, or I am suffering. That is a different question. Okay, so what I'm telling that when BNP was in power, I was requesting or demanding the ruling BNP party to accept that demand of opposition parties, as that was the majority voice, the voice of or the reflection of the majority people from Awami League, Jatiyo Party, and Jamaat Islam. And yes, later on, BNP did it, but having being suffered a lot, they were suffering themselves, and they were making trouble for the country people, nation also. Okay, so that was in the case of 1994 and 96. 96 on 15th February, there was one election to manage the demand of opposition party. As you know, that before that 96, at the end of 95,
Mr. Tarek Fazal, try to
time is going.
concentrate and pay
Time,
attention to the
time is going
issues.
on. Okay.
Issues
What
in question. Basic question is whether a political party like Awami League should play the role to
okay,
create
I'm coming to that point.
another BNP for the very own of the BNP programs.
Yes, yes. It is as a student, what you have said, you have marked that being a student of political science, what is my suggestion, what is my request to the present ruling people? My as I have started from very 1990, 94, 96, now I can very clearly request, urge the ruling Awami League as one of the most popular support-based holder political party. Awami League must and should consider the issue of consent of the people. The country, the political system should be run with the consent of the people. And how to get this consent of the people? It is election. So the Awami League should go for election. Yes, they are going for election, but they are now staging, simply staging. It is very much planned that they're staging a situation, a circumstance where the very another big party, BNP, cannot be on the field to contest in the election. They are managing such a situation. So when the whole state mechanism, the whole state machinery is being used to stage that plan, that should not be good for the Awami League and certainly not good for the Bangladeshi people. So, what you have mentioned, that I'm here in Bangladesh, here in Dhaka now, and perhaps you are not, you are outside. Being in Dhaka, being as a student of political science, I must urge, I must claim, I must demand to the present ruling people, as you know, that the very top leader, the top ruler is apparently not very much willing to consider the very similar and what we say, the level playing field for the opposition. And they're managing, they're staging all these things. One point I should say, what happened on October 28 in Dhaka or some other places, is especially in Dhaka, I can recall the almost same reality, same case was staged in Pakistan on May 9. If you are aware of about the Pakistani situation, that was staged by the Pakistani military. But here we are seeing that it is being staged by a political party. And certainly Awami League is a very popular political party. They should care, they should dare, they should consider the norms of politics and norms of political ethics. People should be ruled by the consent of the people, not basing on any other way. So I'm very much scared if the present political rulers go for this, what we are just witnessing this situation, the way, the manner they are going with, it would not help the political system, the what we say
Well,
political culture of
thank you
Bangladesh
very
to
much.
develop.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Tarek Fazal, from the standpoint of political scientist. You have witnessed the whole thing, and you try to level best to analyze the whole picture in that manner. But thing is that there are more issues which are not within the domain of political science, because politics is such a thing which are involved with the people, and people behave in such a way which involve culture, religion, tradition, custom, and political scientist only focuses what should be and what should not be. That is the point of view of ethics, morality, all these things. But political leaders and political parties hardly care it. That is the reality of politics. Well, thank you very much for your wonderful analysis. And now I turn to Professor Shaukat. You are an economist. At the same time, you are a political analyst. It means we believe in political economy. And you are here in this talk show, champion of political economy. And from that standpoint, you say, what are the possible exit to overcome these things? Yes, Mr. Professor Shaukat.
Yes, it's a very you put all me in a very bad position to rescue the nation, to rescue your talk show. I'm not that big, brother. Listen, few months back with the European talk show, where you been all the time, they asked me, and there were a lot of BNP leaders, and I said that I need to see one more term the Army League, with the current Prime Minister as the head of the state and run the country. Why I said it? Listen, I'm a freedom fighter. I started this thing, my leftist career. It's called Satra Union. In that time in Pakistan, I have seen a lot. I said that, and they asked me the question, why you said that? I said, I want to see the last dance of the Prime Minister of Bangladesh. The reason I said that, to my knowledge, my economics knowledge, 200, almost over 200 years, the way British did not exploit, take the money from the eastern part of India, which is Bangladesh. As you know the history, we are the golden arch of British Empire in India, which is Bengal. You know, the greater Bengal that time. We provided almost 70% of their gold in terms of monetary value. They did not. 25 years of Pakistani rule, they did not exploit Bangladesh area, almost say to me $150 billion. What Army League did within 15 years. My education in economics telling me do not support that exploiter. I am for the Muslim people, those who are suffering, not the exploiter. Whoever she is, I don't give a damn with the BNP Army League or whoever it is. If it is the exploiter, you work, you talk, you show as an exploiter. For my country, my beloved country, my promised land, Bangladesh, you must need to face the dance. And this is the reason I said face the dance. Listen, if I talk the economics now, we need another 2 hours. Look, you bringing the money, loan money. You have to start to pay at least next year $5 billion. You can reschedule it, this and that, then come back to $4 billion. You have nothing. Your export is gone down by 40%. Your import income is very dwindled. You know that already. The main sector of the garments is almost gone. 1,500 garment industries factories are closed now. All over the world, you are facing tremendous problem financially in terms of Bangladeshi governments already without any sanction and playing any hanky-panky games. All the big structure. Listen, I remember Ted Couple of the ABC, one of the veteran journalists in the world, during the Iraq and American war, he was in the highway and he said, I was in Europe, I never see this type of roads and highways in the world the way Saddam Hussein did. What happened? Same thing did uh, Colonel Gaddafi when he was in power with Major General Abdul Salam Jalloud. The major said, listen, brother, we should not give the tribal one against another, fighting each other. Make this a democratic country. Within 5 years, he's demoted. We never had Major Jalud anymore. I have seen 1975, 73, 74, after the election. We fought for our independence, not to play hunky-punky game in the talk show. Oh, we keep hard. We give the leader, give the chance. Let's see what happens. No, 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 no. It was Ayub Khan stay in power or not. Whether Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujib is our leader or not. Final. This is my hand. Look at my hand. With the hand, I was only 17 years old. I got only first year intermediate in arts group. I got first class, first division. I fought Pakistani mountain battalion in my village and slash his Chinese rifle and bring it home. I did not surrender. I did not kill him. I let him go to the Jessore cantonment. Brother, please don't do that. You with us or without us, any talk show, don't play your intellectual game, please. If it is, then there is no 71. There is no Sheikh Mujib. There is no independence. You play game here and there, both sides. Please don't do that. A tyrant, an authoritarian, a dictator, a fascist is fascist. Look at this. I am in United States. What I said about I said him, my president is a senile. I said him senior. He's a, biased foreign policy holder and got my American education. I cannot do it. I see the language of Tariq Fazal. He's very renowned scholar. I appreciate he came. Education, the whole education mean to create you independent thinker. The whole education, forget the PhD. Even you are in the high school. Unfortunately, we cannot do it. This is not the reason at the 17 years old boy went for independence to hear your thing. I want to see the last dance of the Sheikh Hasina government, how she can maintain, how much money she can draw, how can much money. Is there any investigation for one case? Come on, please, brother. You are the intellectual. People want to hear from you the truth, but the absolute truth. I appreciate. Remember, Dr. Sinha is here. When Samsuddin said something against our honorable ambassador, I go against him. That is the word of a terrorist. What happened after 2 days? The United States Embassy called a press conference and go against him. Same thing happened. This guy from the Chittagong, the Army League. Please don't do that. Sheikh Hasina, there is no escape route. Brother, you want to have dialogue? I want to dialogue. What kind of dialogue? To keep her in power. I want to see her dance. What is her escape route? She closed everything. How 15 years, all the university professors, all the dean, all the vice chancellor, all the so-called intellectual is coming from the Awami League. At least now, probably they are the children of Rajakars. They are probably the children of Muslim League or follower of Pakistan. I have no damn idea, but they are all Awami League. And now, these people are supporting her. How you expect an economist? I support a looter, a exploiter. I compare it that British did not do that type of damage. But Pakistan did not do this damage of the Bangladeshi people. that you did is 15 years. I have a dialogue with you. What should a kind of dialogue? Now, one of the brothers said the interim government. Well, if you ask my another side of the analysis, yes, the interim government can come to stop the genocide, to stop this civil war, takes some time, fix it. All the army officer now coming from the Army League, people, the 15 years means is a high senior ranking army officer. I don't blame him. That's good. I love army. They are smartest people in Bangladesh as of right now. Same thing, police. Go to the, the bureaucrats, the secretary, deputy secretary. How if we elected me as a president of the country, how I can run the country, brother? I have seen. Sheikh Mujib was very lucky he got Pakistani CSP officer. Zia Rahman was lucky he got some remaining CSP officer trained in Pakistan army. I mean, bureaucracy. Ershad got this. Khalida did not. Very few. And this current government did not. Therefore, we are in actually a directionless place in terms of politics and economics, of course. You want to have a dialogue? Dialogue. Like Captain Maruf said, okay, give her the power and do the dialogue. I heard the same thing yesterday, dialogue. Well, what happened to the BNP? Oh, they'll be defeated. Well, you need dialogue for defeated. Well, he defeat me. Without election or with election. So what I said, the solution could be a Indian in some kind of government, those who will discuss the disappearance of the people, human rights violation, killing the people, looting the money, take all this money and living in the United States or Canada with a Begum or Singapore. Where is my money? And how you can run the country the day after. Suppose I am assuming she is elected. What will happen? Listen, brother, I have gone through 73, 74. I was elected student official in the Chittagong University, Chakshu. My fate was sealed in 1975. There was all this thing you have seen right now. And we know there is no hope for take the government jobs or take any exams. And it happened 75. I am not happy with the tragic part of the 75, but the thing it changed that time. And flourishing democracy today, under the leadership of Hasina or Khaleda, it is coming after the 1975. Who did what did? I don't know. I was not
Dr.
there.
Shaukat Ali, shorten your speech, please. Shorten. You have 1 minute times.
We need a dialogue so that Amali can get a escape route. There is no escape route. If you put me in the position and I am the Sheikh Hasina, I will never do any dialogue. I have no escape route. I will create, those who I created last 15 years with my follower, I'll go ahead and declare the election for one more term without thinking the consequences of the, my election, my leadership or anything. She said it 100 times already. So let's have a election and give her the power to see what will happen to her political party, and the peoples of Bangladesh. Yes, it is a sarcastic way I'm saying, but I can see the future. What happened? Listen, there is a word, I don't want to give an economic lecture now. It is called intra-state economy, not interstate economy. Intra-state economy, that one sector is holding another sector, helping other, sector, creating the ingredient so the other sector can flourish. They can produce domestically, employ millions of people, Bangladeshi people, and produce the goods and services which will create the value of Taka more and exporting more. That is a simple economics and macroeconomic development. I don't see nothing. I see the consequences. Well, she will get some billions of dollars from the China, definitely. She got already $500 billion
Dr.
in.
Shaukat, Dr. Shaukat Ali, our time is measured. Please.
So
You shorten it, please.
I hope and I see that there will be an election, and it is run by Sheikh Hasina the way she wants. And it is the
Thank you.
winning, for the Army League, but the defeat of the peoples of Bangladesh. And our culture,
Thank you
our
very much.
religious education, our institutional defeat. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now I come to Mr. Captain Raju. You have gotten 1 minute. Concluding remarks. Sir.
Thank you very much, Bhai. It was indeed a pleasure to be in your talk show, to express myself. I only wish, I only dream that the solution will be decided, and Sheikh Hasina will still, if they are too egoistic to come down, they should use the foreign diplomats, foreign parties, third party, anybody neutral to make a solution and to give create interim government somehow. And don't have to talk about constitution, because you remember 1990, after the fall of Shah, there was no constitution followed. It was made by Tinjo Teruprekha. You know that. There was a nice election and accepted by all with Justice Shahabuddin. So they can still do that. And Sheikh Hasina can still allow that. I hope whatever she did last 15 years, she got a last chance by giving a fair election to at least to make people forget about most of the thing and to chance to forgive her. Even she'd not be forgiven by lot, but still she can make a decision. It's all on her and her allies, our neighboring countries. So I'll urge her, please don't put more bullets on our people. Don't make our own army kill us, own police kill us. Let us reconcile and let take the country in forward. Please let everybody, all the political prisoners, including Begum Khaleda, release them, make a nice situation. And I think Bangladeshi people are kind. They will forget and forgive and move forward. I only wish
Thank you
for
very
a peaceful solution. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Samsul Mani, only 1 minute for your concluding remarks.
Thank you, Sinabai. And it was very nice, the talk shows, and I learned lots of things from all of you. And I can echo Maruf Raju Bhai. I will request our Prime Minister, you should decide whether you'll save Constitution or you'll save the country. If you save the Constitution, then you will destroy the country. And if you save the country, you will also save the Constitution. So it's up to you. If you want to make happy India or other countries, it's up to you. If you want to make happy your people, us, it's up to you. You were 77 years old. I think you got very good, the ages. I don't know whether I'll be living tomorrow or after 5 seconds. I don't know. But you already got 77 years. And you ruled the country for many, many years. I think 15, 20 years. So you should be happy. And you should not, arrest opposition parties. You arrested Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir, main opposition. If you want to do politics, you need to have opposition. If you put everybody in the jail, you cannot do the politics. You can make Bangladesh like North Korea. And we didn't fight, my father was freedom fighter. He didn't fight in 1971 to make Bangladesh as North Korea. We want to see the Bangladesh as a democratic country. We have got the human rights. We've got the human values. We respect each other. So I request you again, please save our country. Forget about the constitution. If you need to change it, call your colleagues, come to the parliament, change the constitution, and put the provision of non-party caretaker government, and then run an election. As Raju Bhai said, people might forget you or forgive you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Samsul Alamani. Dr. Tarek Fazal, what is your conclusion? 1 minute.
Thank you, Sinha Bhai. Okay, again, one point about Captain Maruf Raju Bhai. Yes, in the year 1990, Constitution was not violated. In that Constitution, according to 10th amendment. There was a provision of vice president, and it was said that vice president will be appointed by the president, and when president will resign, the vice president will become the acting president. That was the way out. So that was not violating the 1990 constitution. But now, as dear Shamsul Alam Monir has said, that now you need to change the constitution, or you have to come on an agreement among the politicians to stop this present rules or provisions of constitution to establish an authority which will look after the coming election, to make confidence and scope privileges same for all the contesting political parties, and to have a real consent from the people to rule the country. So this is one thing. And yes, what I should urge to the present ruling people, especially to the Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, that power, ruling the country, enjoying many things, may become less satisfactory if there is no love, affection, honor, tribute from the people. So tribute, love, and affection from the people is more important than enjoying power. And absolute power corrupts absolutely, So Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina should consider these things and consider to arrange a memorable election reality in Bangladesh within few days, and we request and urge to this for our Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Professor Dr. Shaukat Ali, you are the senior most here, and with a
Brother,
very wonderful background of political economy.
brother,
Please
Sinha,
draw your conclusion. Yes.
Sinha, I'm very delighted to be here. I learned a lot of things from Brother Raju, Professor Fazul. He's inside the Bangladesh. He can see that I cannot see from the 22,000 miles away. And of course, from Samsul Alam Munir. One thing, brother, I doubt Sheikh Hasina will do that type of thing to negotiate, because last week she said all the opposition party, they're animals. I had the same word from the Israeli defense minister said last week against the Arab people and the Gaza people. You have no discussion with the animals. So, to my knowledge, that she will never do that. We have gone through. I said it. The 1972-73 Maulana Abdul Hamid Khan Bhasani said the same thing that time, Bangabandhu, that let's say make a national government. And I was a part of it. That time I was in Bughanik Satru League. We told them that forget your Pakistani elected parliament. Let's have national with everybody. Did not listen to us, brother. This case, I don't think she will discuss with any kind of animal. But could be changed different way. I'm not depending on any kind of foreign diplomats, what they say, even including Honorable our good ambassador Peter Haas. I don't know what is his end game, but still I believe that he should not be threatened the way Amali government or their people are doing should not be. He should be protected. One good thing I can tell, why not, Sinaba, you tell the Prime Minister, our intellectual discussing release Begum Khalida Jia. Then the thing just Alam Munir said, brother Alam Munir said, people will, very nice word he used, people will forget and forgive. Remember, you did something that you need forgiveness. And we need to forget you. Why not you release next week Begum Khaleda Zia? Release her for treatment. Do not say that she will be 80 years old very soon and she will be expired. How about you? Think about your own demise. Release her. Do not do any dialogue, keeping all the Army League, sorry, BNP leaders in jail. Keep them thousands of 500,000 lawsuit against them, and you have dialogue. With whom? I heard they are putting everybody in a big hotel and dialogue. I never heard even it's a long history. They give Bangabandhu with Mustaq Ahmad a free, not a parole, and take in 60, I think it is 67 or 69 for the discussion with
You have only 1 minute, please. 1 minute.
discussion in Lahore. That was a different game, different thing. I don't think this is the first start. With the BNP, you release, please. Like Fazal said, I am requesting the same thing. Release her tomorrow. Sinha bhai, you are connected person. Why not you tell to release? You start a first thing first that you created the problem and close all the escape route. People will forget you and forgive you. It is the people. They will see your last dance and your demise after the next day, which means you will be the next prime minister, I am assuming. I don't know what will happen the nation. A nation with all the fights get the independence should not assume this way, that way. No, it is the clear way. Let them speak out. Give us democratic rights. Give us a voting rights. Do not humiliate us in front of the world. Thank you. I'm very sorry if I said anything wrong against anybody or any government. What I said, I am for the Muslim. My
Well,
education said to speak the truth, no matter what
well,
is my condition and where
well,
I am.
thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Thank you very much. You all, we are about to end this talk show. And before ending this talk show, I have to summarize what the discussion took place here. First of all, we our discussed about the matter taking place in Israel, Palestine, and Hamas. Especially all are of the same views and mind that American foreign policy and American policy in the Middle East are not so much in touch with the humanity and human rights. And all the time they're beating the drum of their own interests. And because of the interest, Middle East is at stake. And there is no denying the fact that American foreign policy and European foreign policy, whatever it is, because if it is not in tune with the humanity and human rights and democracy, very soon they will have the music otherwise. And that is the history. That is the call of the history. That is the punishment of the history, return of the history. At the same time, the guests are very much vocal about the happenings in Bangladesh. And all of them are of the view that to overcome the present installment, a kind of character government is requisite. At the same time, they also believe that dialogue and negotiation and reconciliation can pave the way to put an end to this crisis. At the same time, they also ask the government, especially the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, to release Begum Khaleda Zia for treatment outside Bangladesh, which
Thank you.
has been also told by UN High Commissioner for Human Rights. And Mr. Peter Haas, who is at this very moment a very, very important person because of his attachment, because of his involvement as head of the mission in Bangladesh. And he is representing American Western Europe, including Japan and the Korea. In fact, he is representing the Western Bloc. And what will happen, we don't know. We have seen that he has very secret talks with Sabir Hossain Chaudhry. He talks with the election commissioner. We have also seen all the intelligence chief in Bangladesh. They have talks with chief election commissioner one by one, not together. It's a it's a kind of new development in Bangladesh. And it is also in the air. The BNP is going to break to pieces. But also we believe that BNP and Awami League is like Himalaya. Nobody can try to hit that party, political party. They are what they are. If anybody try to play a role in favor of the government or anybody else, he will be lost. BNP anomaly will stand like him. So this is the reality. And political culture in Bangladesh are so that they believe in leadership. And most important is that in the state of leadership and statesmanship, Bangladesh is now moving around Pir Tantro. I mean, every political party adore and worship his leadership of the party chief. They are not practicing democracy. There is no inner democracy. And that is the first crisis in Bangladesh. No political party is based on democratic norms and values. Leadership is not growing. Rather, it is getting destroyed. And we don't know what will happen after 5 years or 10 years because we are not getting leaders who will think of the 21st century. 21st century means knowledge, technology, IT, and AI. And they are not even concerned. Our leaders only think of getting power, enjoying power, making wealth and money. That is not the issue. People are not fighting for all these things. That democracy means you must ensure the betterment of the life of the people. You must ensure what the knowledge is. You must ensure we must move in tune with the civilized world. But we are lagging behind all these things. Democratically, we are lagging behind. Economically, we are in crisis. But industrially, we are not in a stable position. Taking all this together, our conclusion is we still believe Bangladesh is born and Bangladesh will survive with the head high in pride. The days are coming. If not under the present leadership, definitely under the leadership of the new generation. And thank you very much. All.
Nice conclusion. Thank you.